another important thing you'll find, as I told you, that it's again important to, in all the Musafs at the end, you will have this list mentioned that where was the surah revealed, if it was revealed in Makkah or Medina, because when we talk about those surahs or that wahi that was revealed in Makkah and the wahi that was revealed in Medina, there is a lot of difference in that. Because when you just exclusively look at the Quran that was revealed in Makkah, the prime theme of that is Iman, building up your Iman. Like, for example, Iman billah, Iman bil akhirah, right? So you can see that the majority of the ayats and majority of the focus of the Makkan Quran is building upon the Iman. And then when we look at the Quran or the Wahi revealed in Medina, that is after the Hijrat, after the Hijrah was made to Medina. So there you have a state, right? So now you have the laws, do's and don'ts with respect to laws. You have the halal and haram now coming in place. So the Madini Quran is with respect to the ahkam, right? And also you will have for the first time, because in Mecca there were no Jews, or there were no previous nations on which any book was revealed. There was only in Medina, right? So you will have the talk about the Bani Israel in the Medina surahs. So that classification also is mentioned always in the end of the Musaf. That helps, with respect to laws and rules and regulations. Now, if you look at the Surah Al-Aaraf, I have both the Musafs here because some of you are quite comfortable with the Indo-Pak Musaf. So this is Indo-Pak Musaf that we have. Most of you would have this script at your homes. And this one that I have, I personally prefer this one. All right. So this is the Medina Musaf. The script is there is a slight variation in script, and that will also get clarified the more we read about it here, inshallah. So Surah Al-Aaraf. So again, we now know that Surah Al-Aaraf is Surah number 7 and the longest Makki Surah in the Quran. The longest Makki Surah in the Quran. And it has 24 rukoos. All right. And in the Musaf, this is the first surah in which the sajda tilawat comes. In Quran, there is a sajda tilawat when you're reading. So there is an ayat that talks about the prostration. So right from the beginning, Surah Fatiha, then Surah Baqarah, then Surah Al-Imran. So the first time when you encounter an ayat wherein you're supposed to do a sajda, that is Surah Al-Aaraf. All right. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Now, if you see, always you will have this thing written right before the any surah. Now, what does it say? It says Surah Al-Aaraf Makkiyatun. Does it say Surah Al-Aaraf Makkiyatun? It's the name of the surah. وهي مئتين. So we know, sorry, مئتان. What's مئتان? مئتان is 200. مئتun is 100. مئتان is 200, right? مئتان وستة ayat. So this means sitta means 6. So 206 ayat, right? وأربع. Arba is 4. وعشرون is 20. So that's 24 ruku'an. So 24 rukus and 206 ayats. That's what is mentioned here. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alif Lam Mim Sad. These are the huruf muqatta'at. Now, although I will not be going into details of what huruf, what they signify, but we will be looking at the grammatical perspective of it. We have the verb قطع. All right, قطع, it is form 2. All right. So if you take its form 1, قطع means to cut. قطع means again to cut something. Right? It's form 2, so it will need an object. Now, its mudari' is going to be yuqatti'u. All right. Yuqatti'u. Qatta'a yuqatti'u. Now, if you have to make the ismul fa'il of it, qatta yuqatti'u means to separate, it means to divide, right? It means to cut, it means to chop. That's the meaning of qatta yuqatti'u, kisi cheez ko kaatna, right? And what will be the ismul fa'il of this verb? Ismul fa'il, I'm not talking masdar. The ismul fa'il, the active participle, it's going to be, yes, anyone? Ismul fa'il.
Muqatti'un.
Very good. It's going to be muqatti'un, right? Very good. Muqatti'un. With the kasra on this one. Muqatti'un. Now it's going to be the ismul maf'ul. It's going to be ismul maf'ul, the passive participle of it. What's it going to be? Muqatta'un, right? It's going to get a fatha.
Muqatta'un.
Muqatta'un, right? Now, because the letters, like alif, ba, ta, tha letters, like the alphabet of the Arabic alphabet. So the letters of the Arabic alphabet, like alif, ba, ta, tha, these are all feminine, right? These will be feminine. So we'll use the feminine, it gets a fatha, word for it, muqatta'atun. So if we have to make a plural, it will be sound feminine plural, muqatta'at. Muqatta'at. What's muqatta'at? Chopped, something that is chopped. So huruf, so when I say huruf, 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 hurufun muqatta'atun. So this is a nath manut construction, right? It means divided or separated letters. Separated letters, chopped letters. Are you getting my point? So this means that if you have these letters coming in the Quran, you're not going. For example, if I have alif, lam, and mim coming, so inshallah, if we study this as a Surah Yusuf, that time we go in detail about this. But from a grammatical point of view, I'm just talking about here that we will not read this as alam. We'll read this as separate, chopped separately. Alif, lam, and mim. We'll not read this as alam because these are supposed to be read, pronounced separately. All right. So right in the beginning, you have 4 of them here in this. Alif, lam, mim, and sad. So this is the ayat number 1 of this surah. So this means that this surah starts with huruf muqatta'at. This surah, like Surah Baqarah starts with huruf muqatta'at, alif, lam, mim. And some other surahs start with alif, lam, ra, ha, mim. There's a series of ha, mim surahs continuously, one after the other also. All right, so we have the second ayat, kitabun unzila ilayka fala yakun fi sadrika harajun min litunzira bihi wa zikra lil mu'minin. So we have the second ayat that starts with kitabun. Now kitabun is what it is, and make sure that you're also writing these things down, right? And you can make real good notes, and I'll also be taking help of the notes that I have made, right, myself from my notebook. So kitabun, what is kitabun? Kitabun is it is a noun which is an indefinite noun. All right. So this is actually a khabar here. All right. This is khabar, and the mubtada here is mahzuf. All right. Mubtada is mahzuf. Mubtada could be haza. Mubtada could be, that's mahzuf here. So this is kitabun. So it'll be a book. So haza would be the. So you'll mention it like this. Kitabun is khabar marfu and mubtada mahzuf, right? Taqdiruhu haza. Now we come across the first verb here in this, that is unzila. Unzila. So let me mention it here for you. So we know nazala. We know nazala. What's the mudari'? Yanzilu. Nazala yanzilu means to get down. Nazil huna, right? Now, if we see the surah here, make sure that you also have your musafs in front of you. So if we make the if we look at this one, it says unzila. The first thing we see here is the dhamma on the first letter, right? So dhamma on the first letter. So but this is not form 4, because if it's form 4, like that would be anzala. If we make this in form 4, anzala, mudare will be yunzilu. But this is not marfu also. So first we have to always look at like this, that whether the verb is a madi or a mudare, if it's from form 1 or advanced form. So this cannot be form 2, because in form 2 we've got a shadda there, like nazzala. You nazzilu as a shadda. There's no shadda here. And this is not form 4 also, right? Because in form 4 you have anzala, yunzilu. If we look at this, and so if we look at this, it will be, so can anyone tell me what's going to be? So this is, think
That is a
about,
passive.
this is passive, all right? This is passive. So kitabun unzila ilayka. Unzila mean it is a passive, it's madi. So we'll mention it like fi'l madi mabniyun, all right? Because fi'l madi is all mabni, right? They are not marfu like mudara. Kitabun unzila, a book revealed. Now we do not know, I mean, here the file is not mentioned because it is the passive. In passive in Arabic, you do not have the file. Instead, you have the naibul file. So naibul file here would be huwa, right? That's a naibul file. Unzila ilayka, revealed to you. Ilayka is jar majroor, right? Kitabun unzila ilayka. Now we have a fa here. Now fa is, we call it fa lil isti'naf, or the rabit, the connector, right? Like we say, like in English, you use a comma, right? Or you say so, then, like that. So fa, so la yakun. So we have the verb kana yakunu, all right? Kana yakunu. Here it is la yakun. What is this la yakun? La yakun. What is this yakun? So this la, so we have kana yakunu, right? We have yakunu, right? We have that, that's our verb going to be yakunu. Yes, so we have yakunu. Now what happened here is we made this majzoom. So when you make it majzoom, so they cannot have two vowel-less letters together. So one of them has to go, or there is some principle that we have to bring in. So one of that has to drop. So out of vav and noon, which one will drop? The weak one will drop, right? The weak one out of the two. So which one is the weak? Vav is the weak. Why? Because this is the weak verb. Kana yakunu, the middle letter, is a weak one, right? So the second radical here was actually vav. So that's going to drop. So the weak one drops, becomes yakun. All right. So we have two words here, la and yakun. So la is la nahiya, like a simple nahiya, like the negative command, what you call it, right? This is la nahiya. All right. La nahiya. And what is this yakun? Yakun is, yes. What is yakun? So if you
The
have la,
majzuf.
yeah, very good. So this is fi'lun mudari'un majzumun, right? So remember that. So we'll say it all of it, right? Fi'lun mudari'un majzumun, all right? Fi'lun mudari'un majzumun. And what is the alamatul jazm here? It is the sukun, very clearly mentioned. So this is majzum bi sukun, all right? All right, so don't be. What's the meaning of la yakun? Don't be, right? Kana yakunu, be, so don't be. Fala yakun, so let there not be, or we can say don't be. We'll look at the transitions, different transitions, what they use. And at the same time, we can look at the other mushaf that we also have. All right. Now you see the difference. So one difference would be already clear to you, that when we look at this mushaf that is written in this script, you see unzila has the head of an ayn there already at the top, right? And you see kitabun has a dagger aleph. You see the difference how kitab is written? If you look at here, kitab is written like this, dagger aleph, but this unzila does not have the aleph with the head of an ayn there. So in this mushaf you will not find hamza written like a hamza that we write. All right, so because this is very in an easier format for the non-native speakers, especially for the people from India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, and all from the subcontinent, for an easy reading for them. All right, but you can already see the difference there, that it is clearly mentioned here, and even the ilayka, where the hamza there and the kasra, but here there is no of that. It's not there, right? It's an alif, simply alif. But so you know that alif is alif only when it is without a vowel. When the moment you give a vowel to it, it no longer remains, becomes a hamza, right? Whether that is hamzatul wasl or hamzatul qat, right? Either one. فَلَا يَكُنْ فِي صَدْرِكَ. So the meaning of the word, so there are two ways we're going to look at the things. Is first, we're going to understand we're going to know the meaning of the word. Right? We know the meaning of word kitab. What's the meaning of the word? It's book. So that's the meaning of the word. That's the first thing we should know when we are reading the Quran, right? The meaning of the word. And second thing we should know is the position this word is having there. That means what is the grammatical value there? Is it a mubtada? Is it a khabar? Is it a mudaf? Is it a nat? Right? That is known as the Arab. That is what we should be knowing. So two things always. So if you're clear with it, you will be able to get the perfect transition. So kitab, a book, right? And we know it's a khabar. In the same way, unzila, it's a verb, right? So what's the meaning of, we know that it means to get down. Now it's passive here. Ilayka jar majroor, right? Ilayka, to you. We know the transition also. Fala yakun. We got the fala yakun. So don't be, don't let it be, don't be, all right? We'll look at it further. And this is la and nahiya here. Now, fi sadrika. What's fi sadrika? Again, fi is a harfu jar, and sadrika is an idafa construction, right? So sadri is the mudaf. Now, it's the first time we in this will come across a word that is new to us. Sadrun means your chest or the heart, right? The portion where the heart is the chest portion, sadr. Like say, alam nashrah laka sadrak, right? Alam nashrah laka sadrak. Did we not expand you by your chest? Sadrak. Like we say, apna sina, right? Sina, sadrik. Fala yakun fi sadrik harajun. Ma mana harajun? Harajun means uneasiness. Arabic word for synonym will be dayaqa, dayqun. Right? Let me write it here for you. Haraj. Harajun. This is a noun, all right? And its synonym will be dayqun. Dayqun means uneasiness, or when something that contracts. So I'll say to be uneasy. This is uneasiness, all right? So فَلَا يَكُنْ فِي صَدْرِكَ حَرَجٌ مِنْ with it. All right? لِتُنْزِرَ بِهِ لِتُنْزِرَ. Again, minhu is a jar majroor. And now one thing before we move forward, whenever we look at a kana, right, wherever you look for kana, yakun, right, kana, we know that this verb will always have its noun, and it like an ismu kana and khabaru kana. So you're going to look at the ismu kana. Ismu kana is always marfu, and harajun here is the ismu kana. What is harajun? It is the ismu kana, right? We're going to know as I told you, we need to know the value that the word is having in the sentence, grammatical value that it has. So what is haraj? Harajun is the ismu kana or yakun, all right, in this case. And when we look at the khabaru kana, that is fi sadrika. So this portion here, all right, let me see that if I can make it. This one. So this is our khabaru kana, all right? And this is our ismu kana. Got the point? And this minhu is associated with the noun, all right? This minhu that additionally you will have. So in any jar majroor, ideally does not function in isolation. It's always connected to something. So فَلَا يَكُنْ فِي صَدْرِكَ حَرَجٌ مِنْهُ. So this is jar majroor. We'll keep it very simple, simply from it, right? We'll not go in too much details, just the basics of it. لِتُنْزِرَ. So tunzira we have li. So we have a li here. What is li? It is a harfu jar. Li is always harfu jar. But if after li there is a fi'lun mudari'un mansub coming, all right? If after li there is fi'lun mudari'un mansub coming like this one, so then this is lam of reason. You remember lam of reason? What we call lam of reason in Arabic? Anyone remembers? Nobody? I'll give you 30 seconds. Anyone remembers lam of reason? That is known as lam. Yes, it is lam ta'lil. MashaAllah. Ta'lil. All right. What is lam ta'lil? Lam of reason. So lam ta'lil will always be followed by fi'lun mudari'un mansub. All right. So we have the verb here. Anzara. All right. Anzara. It is form 4. All right. It is form 4. What's going to be the mudari of anzara? Anzara. Huh? It's, see, when you pronounce this za, there are two zals quite similar in sound. One is this, and another is this. Right? This one should be pronounced very lightly, like za. Za. Don't have the z sound from it. That comes from here. That comes from here, right? This is actually z sound. But if you see this, they even write it like that, like this. You don't have a z sound coming out. Zikr is zikr, not zikr. All right? Zikr. Anzara, not anzara. Anzara. All right? Litunzira. So anzara, what's the verb here? Anzara yunziru. Anzara yunziru means, yes, what's the meaning? It means to darana, right? Let me write here first. Liyunziru. What's the meaning of Nazir? Rasul Sallam was sent as Bashir wa Nazira. Bashir means Basharat dene wala, right? Who gives you glad tidings of something, obviously glad tidings of the Jannah. And Nazir means one who warns you, the warner, right? Warning dene wala about the Jahannam, right? If you do the bad deeds, bad activities, you'll end up in a bad situation. So warning against it. Anzara yunziru. So when you have yunziru, so what's good? Yunziru, tunziru, tunziru, unziru, nunziru, tunziru. Tunziru becomes mansub because there's a lamu ta'lil coming before it. So this is fi'lun mudari'un mansub, right? Li tunzira. So that in order to, taki, like we say in Urdu, taki, litunzira, so that you warn bihi with it, right? So what's the purpose of the revelation of the Quran? Kitabun unzila ilayka. So the book revealed to you, a book revealed to you, litunzira bihi, so that you warn people with it. Was zikra lil mu'minin. What is a waw al-atf here, right? This is the atf, the connector. And then you have zikra. Now zikra is ism maqsoor, like you have mustashfa, you have Musa, Isa, that does not have the any vowel sign on the last letter. That is muqaddara, zikra, right? So this is again doing atf of li tunzira bihi was zikra. So Quran is as a reminder, as a zikr for the mu'mineen. So there are two things mentioned in this, the purpose behind the revelation. That one is that with it, O Prophet, you're supposed to warn people. And at the same time, this is the reminder for the mu'mineen. All right. But the question here is that fala yakun fi sadrik, that why would it cause an uneasiness or a burden on the chest of Prophet? Why? That's a question here, right? This is the portion of this ayat, right? That we can mention as another clause of it, like a book. If you translate it, kitabun unzila ilayka, a book revealed to you, litunzira, so that you warn people with it, and this is a reminder for the mu'mineen. But at the same time, why is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the same time mentioning that let this not make uneasiness in you, let this not be something that causes uneasiness in you. And lil mu'mineen is here what? Jar majroor, right? Mu'mineen is a majroor. And what is the alamatul jar here? Al-ya, li'annahu jama muzakkar salim. Mu'minun becomes mu'mineen because it is majroor. Now, Prophet Sassam felt the burden of delivering the message. Why did he feel why he feels that? He felt that because he thinks that I'm not doing justice to the book, that he needs to do more, right, to get the message across. And this is because, see, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells him, litunzira bihi, your job is only to warn with it, right? Whatever the results are coming, that's not in your hand. And this is the situation with any noble person. Koi bhi jo sharif insan ho, he will always look at the within, meri koi khata to nahi, right? But a bad person would always, find a scapegoat. He says, I'm just doing good. Just these people are bad. No, if a person is good, a sharif person, innocent person, noble person, he'll always look within, right? So Professor Sam was, uh, thinking that whether I'm doing it right, whatever responsibility has been given to me, looking at the results. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling him, don't be overwhelmed with this, all right? So don't be overwhelmed by the responsibility. Just continue to do it, right? Was zikra, and it's going to be a powerful reminder to those who have the potential of believing. It's a reminder for those, because see, we are told that the Quran's job is what? It is a reminder. It is a zikr. It just reminds you what is already within you. The knowledge of God is already within us when the ruh was put into the. That's again, this subject is going to come soon. In the same surah, when the ruh was put into the humans, so with it was. All right. So any noble person will always look within about whether I'm doing the job well or not. Now, from a grammatical perspective, I'll just tell you one point with respect to the zikra. With respect to this waw atf. Now, where is always we have to look where is atf going? What is it doing atf to? So there are two perspectives here, that this wa zikra lil mu'minin is either going for an atf on kitab, right? Kitabun. So this kitab, right? So there are two scenarios here wherein this waw can do an atfan. So one is kitab. This is like this. So in that case, the translation will be a book. So this is a book and a reminder for the believers that is revealed to you. right? That was revealed to you. فَلَا يَكُنْ فِي صَدْرِكَ حَرَجٌ مِّنْهُ لِتُنْذِرَ بِهِ. And what you do is you warn with it. So this is one, all right? Either this is going atf here. The second is that the zikra is doing atfan litunzira. Now you see, that's the beauty of the Quran, right? That's a beauty. Even both ways, it gives a beauty in the meaning, and it adds to the uh, the meaning of it and understanding of it. You see, if this wa is doing atfan kitab, then in that case it's a book and a zikr. That means Allah revealed a book and a zikr for the mu'mineen to you. So don't let uneasiness in your heart, in your chest, and that you reveal and that you warn with it. The second is that this zikra is doing atfan tunzira. So in that case, the translation would be a book revealed to you. So don't let uneasiness in your chest, in your heart. So that what you do with it, this is to litunzira bihi, so that you warn people, and was zikra lil mu'minin, and this is the zikr for the mu'minin. So in both cases, you can see the diversity in the meaning also, and that adds to the beauty of it. So this is these are first two ayats in it, and you can see that in the first one, the address is directly made to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But in the second ayat, in the third ayat, sorry, this is two. First one is muqatta'at. In the third ayat, you have ittabi'u. Now this is a command to the plural. Now this means there is an immediate transition. In ayat number 2, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking to the Prophet, and now all of a sudden he is talking to everybody else. Ittabi'u, this is form 8, right? Ittaba'a means to follow. Ma unzila ilayka min rabbik. And this one, inshallah, we'll do in our next session. All right. So shall we do the class every morning?